Hi, I'm Mitch, and in this FreeCAD tutorial, we're going to master the first 5 joints in the Assembly Joints toolbar. For the most part, use of these joints is straightforward, but there are some non-intuitive results, and if you get a non-intuitive result and you try to undo it, you may experience the dreaded access violation message, which is just the worst. So I'm going to try to help you avoid that as you play around with these joints. So let's get right to it. I'm here in FreeCAD 1.0 and I'm going to open the Assembly Workbench, and we'll add some parts, and I'm going to add an extruded aluminum profile that I've made, and we'll just add 2 of these. So first we'll save this, and we'll just add it again with another single left click. Pull that out. I'll left click outside, and I can also move it around. So now we'll press OK, and we'll drop this joints down, and we've just got that one grounded joint. So now I'm going to walk through mates with vertices, edges, and surfaces one by one, and for each one of those we're going to use each one of these. So let's start with 2 vertices. We'll do that one. That's a left click, and then we'll choose a similar one, and it's a control left click for that, and those are both selected, and we'll choose to make a fixed joint between those 2. So I don't like that they're overlapping, so I'm going to reverse the direction of that joint. And now if I try to move the non-grounded part around, it doesn't move because that's a fixed joint. So let's try a revolute joint. First, we can see that these 2 share a common origin right there. So this is actually the z-axis for one of them, the z-axis for the other, y, and a common x-axis. And now if we rotate these, we see that it rotates around the common z-axis. And then a slider joint is going to slide along that same common z-axis. A cylindrical joint is sort of like a combination between a revolute and a slider. It slides along that common z-axis and it rotates. And I'm going to move this up so you can see next. One thing that's not been obvious is that when I switch to a new type of joint, this doesn't seem to move, but then when I grab it and hold, it snaps back to its original common origin. And then the ball joint basically moves in 360 degrees in every direction about that common origin. Okay? So we get that snapback when we change joints and then grab, hold, and try to move. But if I switch back to a fixed joint and I try to grab it, hold it, and move it, you notice it doesn't snap back. But that's because the fixed joint doesn't allow the movement that allows the snapback. But if I come up and I press OK, now it snaps back to its original position. And I don't actually want that fixed joint, so I'm going to click on it here and just press delete. And I'll move my part back over here, and we're ready to grab a couple of edges and see how that works. So I'm going to grab that edge, left click, and then I'm going to grab an edge that's 90 degrees to it, and I'm going to control and click. So those 2 edges, and I'll make another fixed joint. And you can see that this snaps to make sure that their z-axes are aligned. So it snaps and makes them parallel. And since that's a fixed joint, nothing changes. And if I make a revolute joint, it rotates about that common axis. A cylindrical joint rotates about that and slides about it. A ball joint is going to rotate about their common origin. And you can see it places the origin in the center of each line. So the origin there is centered on the midpoint of this line and on the midpoint of this line, and then this is rotating in all possible directions about that common origin. Now I'm going to go back to a slider joint here. Yeah, so I don't like these overlapping here, and so if I would like to make this slider joint stop at the edge of this part like it would in the real world, I have to account for that by using these limits. So this will allow overlapping slider unless we set the limits appropriately. So in this case, I know that the minimum limit needs to be round about 230 millimeters, and that should stop this from moving any further. You can see I'm trying to move it further, and it's stopping at the edge now. And I can set my max length to something big for now. Let's say 2,000 millimeters. And if we go back into that slider, I shouldn't have hit enter there. If we go back into that slider, you can see it stops there. And if I slide it all the way out, that must be 2,000. So there's 230, there's 2,000, and now it will not allow these two to intersect because I've set that limit. All right, let's cancel out of this. And I'll have to delete this slider because I produced it before. And now we're back to having two parts with no mates. So let's try mating circular edges. There's a circular edge, and there's a circular edge. And we'll make that a fixed joint as well. And you can see that they directly overlap, so I'm going to flip the direction of that joint, and it won't move. So again, now we kind of understand what we expect from these. If we make a revolute joint, I'm going to expect it to revolve around that z-axis, and sure enough it does. If I make a cylindrical, it's going to revolve and slide along that z-axis. If I make a slider joint, it's just going to slide along that z-axis with no revolution. And a ball joint, it should revolve around that common ball joint. So this is a weird issue. I can't explain it, but I fixed it by canceling the joint and picking the circular edge on the opposite side of the piece. Let's cancel out of it. And let's try a surface now. So let's mate that flat surface to that flat surface. And we'll make them fixed. And now I would have intuitively assumed before I started this that these would slide, if I change this to a slider joint, that these would slide along their longest edge. But now I know that I'm going to expect it to slide always along that blue axis, and sure enough, that's what it does. Slides along my blue z-axis. And once we accept that, we know what to expect from the rest of these things. The cylindrical joint rotates and slides along that blue axis. The revolute joint only revolves around the blue axis, and you can see it's snapped back to its origin there. And our ball joint should rotate in all directions about that same blue axis. Or excuse me, about the origin. It rotates in all directions about the origin. And I don't want that, so let's cancel it. We snap back. And now let's try the very last thing, this inside cylindrical surface. Mate that one to that one. And we'll start with a fixed joint as usual. They're overlapping. And if I reverse the direction, they are still overlapping. So it didn't reverse the direction in the way I might have expected, and I can't grab that non-grounded joint. But I can change this offset a bit, so let's maybe just make that 20 millimeters, and now you can see my non-grounded joint has moved in that direction 20 millimeters. And so now I can at least grab it to play with my joints. Let's try a revolute joint, and that does revolve more or less just like with the circular edges. The cylindrical joint rotates, the slider joint slides, and the ball joint rotates around the common origin. Okay, so let's ruin everything now, shall we? You notice that I've either been hitting OK and then deleting the joint that I didn't want, or if I knew right away that I didn't want it, I would just hit cancel. Another way, another common method for getting rid of this is the good old reliable Control-Z method, which I've told you not to use. So let's see what happens if I hit Control-Z. And it looks like not much has happened. I'm back here, but if I can draw your eyes down to here, we have all kinds of red text. So it did not like that. And now, if I go and I try to make some other mate, it won't even let me pick the surface. It won't let me pick the edge. It won't highlight anything. And now I see the dreaded access violation. Again, if you're up here working around, you might not notice that text there, and you just wonder what's going on. And so finally, maybe you decide, okay, well, forget it. I'll just save, and I'll maybe close it and reopen. You come to hit save, and there it's a lot more obvious. Access violation. And no, it is not okay. This assembly file is now corrupt, and I can't even close out of it and go back to my last previous save. It's corrupted the file. There may eventually be a hope for this. I just reinstalled FreeCAD 1.0 today, March 11th, 2025, and I have revision number 39109. The Github page claims that this issue is resolved in revision number 39315, so maybe we've just got to wait for that to become public. I hope this was helpful.